Hey everybody, it's Alex here with WCICO and Reportify Media. I'm here with Lizzie. Lizzie, welcome to the program. Nice to see you again.
Hey, thank you, Alex. Thank you for having me.
So, Lizzie, for the audience, tell us about yourself, where you're situated here in the world, and we'll go on from there.
Okay, so I'm from South Africa, but I've been living here in Kunming in Yunnan province here in China for more than 6 years now. Got a house here, so I have no plan on leaving anytime soon, to be quite honest with you.
Wow, a foreigner buying a house in China, that is unique. You've probably heard that a lot, and a lot of people probably said, is it even possible to do that? Well, clearly you have.
Exactly, yeah. Here I am, I'm proof.
So tell us what you do here in China.
I used to be an English teacher, and about 5 months ago, I quit my job. Now I'm just a vlogger. So I just go around China shooting all of our life in China, mainly for my YouTube channel. But then I also post on the Chinese platforms, as I've realized the Chinese also, they really like to see how foreigner lives here. And, since TikTok got banned, a lot of foreigners are actually now on the Xiaohongshu, the red note or the red book. So that is kind of becoming a global influence as well.
It's interesting how you say that you make content for, let's see, even China social media. The average foreigner would say that that's just not possible. Is this a stereotype that you have to continue to defend every time?
Yeah, honestly, they always say like, yeah, it's not possible for us to make content here, and even on YouTube, how is that possible? Stuff like that. And also, when I'm just showing my daily life, sometimes I literally just put the camera in my backpack, go around. Probably 50% of my comments are still like, I'm forced to say these things, Those are the main comments that I usually get. If I don't talk good like this, I'm going to get kicked out or I'm being paid, stuff like that. So that's just getting boring now, and I just look over it.
Do you encourage other content creators that might be looking for a country to film China? Is there a lot of difficulties to get set up? How do you get set up? How do you do it?
Yeah, to be honest, probably everyone. I've said, like, if you don't know what to do, trust me, just come to China and make content. Because if you go to YouTube and it's not people living in China, the views that they get on their channel mostly come from their Chinese videos. Why? Because the world really doesn't know about China, and what they know is only negative. So then these people are like first time in China, then of course their viewers, their subscribers want to see like, oh, was it really this scary? What is going on there? Did they get kicked out of the country? So that is why more and more vloggers are actually really considering living in China, because we here, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to show that you just won't see anywhere else on YouTube, because we actually talk positive and show that, the real life here, and not just those normal people that just sit on their couches in other countries and be like, oh, China's this, China's that, but they've never actually been to China. So it's honestly the biggest opportunity to vlog here in China.
You mentioned there's always something to vlog about. Now, what does that mean? Is it new things always happening, or new instances, or political things, or recreational things?
You can go, even if you know nothing about politics, you can just go out of the hotel you're staying at and really just take, videos of daily life here in China. Like, people think Chinese people don't have a life. If you just leave your hotel, you will see that immediately that is not true. So you can make a video about that. The infrastructure, it is everywhere, like people building all the time, the Chinese building new tracks. You can take the high-speed train, and then if you want to go over to politics, oh, that's just a whole different world to actually show, the real life here in China, what the government actually does for the people here, how they operate. I'm trying to get more into like car videos, so that brings more into politics a little bit. Like, I just went to make a video about Huawei, and we all know like the US banned Huawei. So yeah, there are so many different aspects. You don't need to know anything about infrastructure to make content here, because you will just be amazed and show the buildings here and what China's building, for example. So it's a whole world.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned new energy vehicles. The president or CEO of NVIDIA came to China just yesterday and mentioned that there are breathtaking things happening in this industry. He praised it. He said that, it's absolutely amazing what is going on here. I find myself in a similar situation. I have friends of over 30 years who will be soon approaching to come to China here at the end of the month. And it's interesting to hear their take when you say, oh, you're going to love it here. There are new energy vehicles all around, the technology. And they would say, well, are these cars safe? Don't they start on fire? Don't they break down? Do they explode when it's hot? Do they explode when it's cold? Do they, are they driving off the road, like the end of the world shows? And we see a lot of some of we'll call them anti YouTubers or anti-China, anti-China YouTubers really defame this industry. And what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Alex, it's, a coincidence that we're talking about this today, because I literally made a video about this exact thing yesterday. I was debunking like these stereotypes about how people just see Chinese EV cars setting on fire, and how the airbags don't come out, and how they're crashing, the self-driving, and this overproduction, all these fields of EVs standing there. And what a fun video, what a fun time to debunk all these stereotypes. Because honestly, firstly, let's talk about how, when you make an EV, right, the batteries, it is not as green as people think it is. But China, they're taking these steps using hydropower to make these batteries, and then once you get it in a car, it's top quality. And how they do it at these cheap prices, that's just why it can't compare to anywhere in the world. Like all EV cars before, when China started around 2015 to 2019, that was the period they were actually really testing all these EV cars and the different, businesses. So there were a lot of startups that failed. But now the ones that are right here today selling all these cars, Neo, Geely, all these BYD, Xiaomi, why? Now it's top quality product, because China has already passed the testing stage, while other countries are still, busy testing it. And they're using dirty air to just make these batteries. And it's honestly just, you can't compare. It's not really much to talk about. You just can't compare how China is making EVs today to anywhere else in, the world. And the price that they can sell it at is really, unmatchable.
Yeah, I think with any industry, you see consolidation. Of course, that's going to happen in the new energy vehicle. We have two major battery companies. I would say CATL is a battery giant. They supply, I would say, north of 70% of the industry. We can't forget also BYD, what that company originally started as. That started as a battery manufacturer. In fact, the company has over 1 million employees. And I think something that is missed in all of this is, of those 1 million employees working for BYD, who makes spectacular middle range, low range, and high end cars, not only do they make amazing batteries, but they employ over 100,000 R&D people in the company. That's over 10% of the staff that are always working in R&D. To add to the new energy vehicle, I agree with you. We are going step by step here. We are seeing a country that is investing in it. Now we'll get, the pushback from the collective West that will say, hey, wait a minute, they're subsidizing the industry. That's no different than massive bailouts during, the crisis in 2008, when General Motors, Ford, all these companies went to the wall and almost went bankrupt. But here's the difference here. If you have not been to China, and you start to watch videos from Lizzie on new energy vehicles, you start to watch videos of me on new energy vehicles, and you're alarmed, and you're saying, if this is true, well, this is what happened. Say goodbye to the North American automotive industry. Exactly. It is over. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, one big thing I want to add is if you go on YouTube and you're searching Chinese EV cars, mostly it will be like cars setting on fire. Now, I need you to think of another possibility that whoever is making this video properly searched and found maybe 5 videos out of 1 million EVs that were made. And those 5 videos will then be posted and be like, look, Chinese EVs are not safe. I literally watched a video about a guy saying, if you buy a Chinese EV, you are a fool. And then what did he do? He just used a few videos of these cars exploding. First of all, it's battery cars going to happen, but not anymore. When were these videos taking? During those testing period when EVs just started booming. It was a testing period that happened. So yeah, I want people, as always, I am telling them, don't just trust me. Trust people who actually live in China, you know, using the cars, going to make videos of the cars, the statistics of, you know, Chinese people, what they have to say, before just believing those 4 or 5 videos where something bad happened.
You know, there will be instances and accidents where things happen. Nothing is 100%. We know that. Cars can have issues. But one thing that I want to bring to light is we have to ask ourselves, what is the motivation for these channels or these content creators to make such videos? I'm going to throw a thought out to you, and I'm not sure if you heard this.
Okay.
But there was a massive attack on CapCut editing program over the last 3 weeks. Google this. Google this. This will absolutely frighten you. Okay. Because if you put into YouTube CapCut terms and conditions, you will see over 50 content creators almost saying the same thing, defaming the company, saying that the company says that you've allowed rights to spy on all the stuff that you upload to their cloud system, and you should use this software, and you should be using this software, and those links are in the description. Somebody has put together a campaign that to name, shame, and defame, a company like CapCut, which is, owned, I believe, by Tencent. But just seeing that and understanding that we may just see the same strategy on new energy vehicles.
Mm.
Pretty alarming, huh?
Yeah, something like this is actually such a short conversation because it's nothing other than jealousy. Because why just grab a car? Because they could pick any country in the world, let's say, because usually it comes from the West, usually it comes straight out of the US, North America. Most of the times they could pick any country in the world because there are so many problems everywhere, but they pick China specifically and they nitpick these things that firstly are not true, but something that people might believe is true. And it all comes to that China is just really just number one. They're taking over everything, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's new energy vehicles, whether it's, the tech, like you just said, the product, CapCut. It's just laughable for us living here because it's honestly, I don't think anyone should give 2 thoughts about it to just not even watch a video like that, because it's ridiculous. I mean, I have been using CapCut for such a long time. Firstly, it's, amazing. It has a lot of functions. It's affordable again, which is the main thing. It's affordable while being so efficient. And then, okay, something happened about the USA, China spying on them. Okay, so now let's focus on CapCut. CapCut, they could use it to be spying on them. So people talk about it, but it's not a short conversation.
Let's talk about safety in China here. Now, of course, we read a lot of these anti-China YouTubers that come on and flood the market irresponsibly, stating about the security in the country. What's your thoughts about, let's say, being a woman in a very big city? I know if we talk to females that live in Vancouver, Canada, are concerned about going out at night. If we talk to somebody about getting off a subway at maybe even 9 o'clock in the evening in New York or cities like Paris or London, it can be traumatizing. Your thoughts size of the
Oh,
city that you live in? How's
my
life
favorite
there as a
topic.
lady?
Yeah, my favorite topic, because honestly, this is the number one thing why I will never leave China. Besides all the other good things, this is the number one thing. The main reason why I brought my mom over to China, because of safety. Not just in South Africa, but I'm assuming a lot of people feel the same way as I did. Like when I grew up, I thought it's normal to not be able to walk 400 meters to the supermarket, that you have to drive a car, whether it's in the middle of the day, whether it's at night, because it's just not safe. You can't go out at night just by yourself going to meet friends. You have to always move in groups. I thought this is normal until I moved to China. I don't know how many times this year I've been traveling by myself, going to new cities, and I would say even towns, like rural areas where I want to go make videos about. I've never been there. Now I'm making videos to show like life in China, and I just don't even think twice about safety. Like it's normal. I can go out 11 o'clock at night because I'm hungry. I want to go eat some barbecue. I just met up with friends that live in Canada 2 weeks ago, and she didn't want to leave China. She's a Chinese that then moved to Canada. She didn't want to leave after she came
Hmm.
to visit, because she said she loves it in Canada, but the safety, the freedom that she has here in China to walk around whenever she wants. She said it's so boring there in Canada. She cannot go out after she ate dinner. And here in China, what do people do? They are walking every single night after dinner. That's why they're so healthy here. So that just, it opens your mind to be able to run with earphones. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm jogging. I'm jogging with earphones. There's no way I would do that in any other country, whether I'm visiting there, because I'm too scared. Right?
Hmm.
Someone can just come and take my phone out of my pocket, or filming with my camera like this. I'm not scared someone's gonna run past, grab my camera. These are things that is supposed to be everywhere in the world, but it's not. And after living in China, I realized, how we as women especially don't feel safe in other countries. It's not supposed to be like that.
Mm. We've talked about the positive aspects and the positive things that we've done here in China. Is there some things that you find that for foreigners that maybe the government can maybe change, whether it's visa policies, whether it's applications, whether it's banking, whether it's financial transactions, political? What are your thoughts that maybe if you were given the opportunity to give some feedback, what would it be?
Oh, that's difficult, because 2 years ago I would have had things, but then China answered all the questions. Like, firstly, I would have asked for them to, it's like I was talking straight to the government, honestly, because 2 years ago I did. I remember I was asking, like, making a video, they should change the banking system on Alipay so that
Okay.
foreigners can come to China, connect their Alipay straight to their bank card and work. They did that. Open it to more countries, give free visa. Okay, they're doing that right now. So what
Yeah.
else, can China do? I feel like not much, to be quite honest. That's something I have to think about, because like the visa regulations here, I think
Hmm.
it's important. You can't just, not anyone can open a business in China. Not anyone can just work in China, which I think is good, to be quite honest. Like every country needs that control, because look what happens if you just open the country to whoever. Anyone can get a visa. I mean, not all people are good people, right? Everyone's going
Hmm.
to find some loopholes, and China is very strict with that. And that's why coming to China, people are who work here work legally. People who open a business, it's legal. Like everything here is so strict that things happening in this country is very legal. How about you? Because that's actually a good question. Let me ask you. What do you think?
Well, that it's interesting. Yeah, I have to say that if you're going to if you're going to open up your market for international tourism, uh, at least on the front line, and that I'm talking the big cities like Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, all these ports, that when you come to the airport, the first thing that first thing everybody wants to do is get connection, right?
Yeah.
So there are some challenges in the country whether it comes to Westerners and foreigners coming into the country and not having the ability to, let's say, use their Apple Pay or get into connection with certain types of websites that they use. Now, of course, there's workarounds for that. eSIM business has changed a lot too, and that's changed the sector a lot worldwide, where people can pretty much keep their own carrier and just roam. That's fine, but I think a good example is a 78-year-old friend of mine who's arriving in Shanghai in the next few days. If it wasn't for me to kind of organize a taxi at the airport, in Thailand is quite easy. Even before I think you even go to immigration, or maybe just right after immigration, the mobile suppliers are there to help you connect. The currency exchange people are there to help you connect. Remember, we're in a cashless society here. So most of the people that arrive don't really have, at least not connected with RMB. They're going to arrive either A, with cash, probably, because they've been told to. B, they'll put their credit cards on there, but that's not to say that the credit cards are from their banking institutions going to function properly. Give you an example. I have one of my credit cards in the United Kingdom linked to my WeChat account, just as backup. And sometimes I use it just to test it. And sometimes the security in the UK blocks that transaction. So if you're a foreigner here and I think one thing I would like to see them do is a top-up method where, okay, we want to use WeChat, we want to use Alipay. In all the shops that they have here, similar to 7-Elevens, I think Lawson's is a big brand. Maybe, and even at the airport when people come, they sell a digital top-up that you can load to a wallet on your phone. I would totally be fine. We use that type of system in North America. If you want to feel safe, you don't want to, upload. You got to remember, we're asking people to upload their banking and financial credit card information onto Chinese platforms. We're not there yet. So I think that's one of the things that I would say to the government. You guys really want to open the doors wide open on this. And also, not just the hotels, but let's get some of these smaller micro hotels that aren't really necessarily licensed to accept foreigners. Let's move that sector on too a little bit more. And let's allow, once again, because I'm just talking about the tourism market. If we're targeting international tourism, and international tourism have a certain expectation of service. Of course, when you check into a 5-star, you have that expectation, a 4-star, a 3-star, a 2-star. But all the way down, they should have a method that they are allowing the owners of these businesses that want to build to the and I'm saying this only because of the international market. I'm not saying the domestic market is great. The country wants to do changes to the domestic market. That's their business. But if they just want my feedback, it's that allow international people to work with these businesses. I'm in the city of Chongqing, 30 million plus, right?
Yes.
There are hardly any international restaurants here. You'll find them in the hotel, but outside, there's maybe 1 or 2 Italian restaurants, 1 Spanish restaurant, a handful of other Western style restaurants. This is a city that loves food. Okay. And if they do it right, an international person could take the domestic market and the international market, but it's that difficulty of getting the visas, because this is not necessarily, we'll call I think it's a high skilled job, because you got to have a lot of patience to work in that industry. But it's a level where they haven't opened up that opportunity very easy to bring in foreign staff, which would help their market. Just look what happened to Thailand. Look at Thailand now. The market there, huge. The travel market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on the 2 points. So the main thing I do agree is like the WeChat, because it is true. Sometimes my friends, when they come to visit, maybe not me, but China, they always struggle with WeChat. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really use WhatsApp as much in China. We use WeChat, but now I can't talk to my family and friends back home. So yeah, I think there needs to become some kind of middle, because opening WeChat account is very difficult. You need someone to authorize you that already has WeChat. So that
Hmm.
already makes it difficult. And then, if you don't want everyone to get on WeChat, maybe just let WhatsApp work somehow, so that when people come to China, at least let them talk to their families, or when something is wrong, let them have the WhatsApp, for example.
Yeah.
And
Or
yeah,
or an
yeah,
international version of WeChat. Just
yes,
an
exactly.
international version,
And
maybe a bit scaled down. Maybe we don't, as an international traveler, and this is something else we can talk about. This is not just an app. This is a super app, right?
yeah,
It's all in one shop. So I think you could have two versions. An international version is kind of a scaled down version of a little bit less services. But then
mhm,
again, this does open the opportunity to what we're talking about here. You come here
yeah,
as a foreigner, you want to use the hospitals, you want to use the taxis. Well, the taxi services now are in international languages, but just imagine how big a business that could be for the medical business. If a lot of
yeah,
these apps, you can make appointments in English. I know that we're in China, but once again, I'm saying this because this is a sector that China wants to open up. They want medical tourism here. In Thailand, I know I keep going back to Thailand, but that's because Bangkok is either the top third city traveled every year. And
yeah.
it's not just because it's warm weather, it's because people go there for services. They go there for hospitals. I mean, the hospitals are top notch there in what people are saying developed country, but they are
Exactly.
better.
But it's the same with China, right? China, the hospitals are very affordable. But even, I don't know about you, but like my Chinese isn't that bad, but I cannot read Chinese. So even
Hmm.
still, for me, that's been living here for more than 6 years, when I use WeChat, I go to the hospital or I want to make an appointment, I always need to screenshot and translate or ask some of my Chinese friends. Like, it would help a lot for us living here. But yeah, like you said, China isn't an English speaking country, but if they want to open the doors to the world for tourism, then they need to make it a little bit more convenient. And WeChat is the start of that, because like you said, WeChat has literally everything, your car, your when you want to go to the hospital, when you book stuff, it literally has everything. When going to the
It
movies, something as
it
simple
would
as
be
that.
so easy. It would This would open up world trade. This would open up import export. This would open up hospitals. This would open up restaurant bookings. If one button
Yeah,
just
exactly.
translated every single thing on that WeChat app on the screen, not snapshots, send it to your chat to then scan, to then go back. Can you imagine that
It's
app for any
they
foreigner
kind of
to open
be
up?
untouchable, honestly, because they already have this super app. So yeah, if it can be English, I don't know. Yeah, that
It
would
would be,
be,
or multi-language, right? It would
yeah,
be absolutely game over because
yeah. Then
nobody
there's
would need
people
these
that,
apps.
all the Chinese haters will just not even ever go on YouTube, because everyone just be like, oh, I love China, I love China. Yeah, that would be ridiculous.
It's quite funny. So what do we're seeing a lot of rhetoric here with the United States, a lot of their posturing, what we've seen they've done in the Middle East. They almost started World War III. Some say they stopped it.
Mhm.
We're seeing a buildup of military now in the South China Sea from the Americans again. A huge test by the Australians with Albanese, who actually came to visit Mr. Xi here a few days ago. Well, the largest military drill test was going on in the history in Australia and in the waters there. Um, I'm not sure if you cover this kind of things on your channel. Maybe we can talk about some of the political things that you cover on your channel and tell everybody what your channel is.
Yeah, well, I don't cover that much like in depth of these political things. Usually, my
Mm-hmm.
political things cover to, if the West says something about the Chinese government does this or this, yes, I do those kind of things. But mostly when it comes to like other countries, no, not really. Like the Australia, no. The only thing that I do know is, I feel from my side, because I do follow it. I don't talk about it, but I do follow a lot of the information. What I
Hmm.
can say is I feel like America is kind of lost right now in a bad way. It's not like I'm talking bad about them, but I just feel like they're lost. So they kind of trying to find, who's on their side, who's not on their side, and just, pushing all the hate towards China, because China doesn't really care about what anyone, else that doesn't like them they're doing. China's just
Hmm.
focused, they're tunnel vision, they're going on as they are. And I feel like, yeah, America is trying to, it's after like a bad breakup. They're just trying to find like who they are and where they are positioned in the world. So yeah, that's mainly what I got to say about that.
Tell the viewers about your channel, where to find you, how to find you, what your channel's all about.
Yeah, so you can go follow me on YouTube, Lizzie in China, or main channel's name Because I'm Lizzie. I show daily life in China, what I'm doing here in China, mostly going around at night, showing the safety. I just made an amazing video where I took the high-speed train, and I'm showing you like how the second class cities, how normal average people travel here in China, and just debunking a lot of the stereotypes. Without talking about it like this, I'm actually showing you the life behind me here on the ground in China. So yeah, definitely go give me a follow, guys.
Well, Lizzie, I'm going to bring you through a couple of questions here, and I want your response, quick, rapid response. Okay.
I love it.
All right. So you can either say yes or no, or you can laugh, or you can you can just give a quick comment. Okay. So we've heard all the we'll call talking heads, like Gordon Chang and all of these boys, Fox News, all the rhetoric coming out, Sky Australia. Here we go. China's economy is collapsing. Your comment.
No.
Okay. China's spy balloon was to gather U.S. military secrets.
No, they don't care enough about that.
Okay. China has banned religion. Are
Did
you
you
there?
ask me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
China has banned religion.
No.
Okay. China is building secret overseas police stations.
Oh, what a waste of time. You're asking me here, Alex. No.
China's digital ID and social credit system is true.
No comment.
No comment.
No. No.
China is colonizing Africa with debt traps for the BRI.
No.
No.
No. I feel like we should wear a clown nose when we're asking these questions.
And China is flooding the world with cheap, unsafe new energy vehicles.
No.
And my final one is, I've got two. China's military is weak and just for show.
How Alex really have to answer that? No.
And the last one, China controls all TikTok content to brainwash Western youth.
No, I could have just made a tattoo on my forehead with no. Okay, really.
So I just wanted to read you those things because this is what, as their viewers, and whether they're domestic viewers here in China or international viewers, this is what Lizzie and I go through on a daily basis. Just a daily basis. If they can't find one, they move on to another. If they can't find one, they move on to another. Give me your last comment on why people should come to China.
To, to just laugh. If you need any like happiness or laughter in your life, just come to China, because then you will laugh at all these comments and questions that Alex just asked me, because it's laughable. Like, yeah, just that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes I'm motivating people, even if you don't want to believe me or Alex, and you think like we're fake, whatever. It's okay, as long as you just try to save up some money and come see China for yourself. I'm all open. Like, my channel is literally so open for all opinions, but you're only allowed to have an opinion about China after you've actually been here. So just, come to China, whether
Well
it's
said.
actually have fun, because that's why you should come to China, because you're going to have a great time. You're going to feel how it feels to feel safe, no pressure on your shoulders. If you don't want to come for that reason, come to actually just see if what you are reading and what your news is telling you in the West is true. Then you will come here and realize it's a lie. But I'm not going to say it. You can come and for yourself.
Well said, Lizzie. So where do we find you again? Where do people find you on North American platforms and Chinese platforms?
Go YouTube and Instagram, both Lizzie in China. And if you have Red Note, because shame, TikTok got banned and it won't happen to Red Note, follow me as well, Lizzie in China.
Well, Lizzie, thanks a lot for spending some time with me and on the Let's Talk program. I appreciate your time. And we'll go backstage here. We'll wait for this show to upload. And thanks again.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for having
You're
me.
welcome.
Thanks for making me laugh.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.